Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Late Night Show with your host, Dr. Kojo. We're talking about autism and OCD tonight. I'm dressed up in my Titans gear because the Titans are changing their uniforms and they're rebranding. So I'm doing this to shout out my Titans tonight. Let me get this tile correct on Twitch. They're trying to make me change it. All right, we're talking about autism and OCD. Oh, I guess I got to change the title again. It says it's not. Let me see if it's valid. There we go. All right. So now we are live on Twitch. All right. Perfect. We're rolling. So it's me, Baby Shiesty, my dog, Zoe Shiesty. Me and Baby Shiesty. Zoe, come on. Jump. Nope. There you go, Baby Shiesty. It's me and Baby Shiesty, and we're talking about autism and OCD. Go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where you're checking in from as we get this live stream started. Let's get it. Baby Shiesty, relax, baby girl. We have Trey B checking in from DC. Shannon checking in from Georgia. Bowler. Dina checking in from Sydney, Australia. Not you burping. Girls are not supposed to burp. Goals are not supposed to burp. Shiesty. Tyler, Texas in the house. Leilani checking in. Our moderator checking in from New York City. Aileen checking in from Georgia. You Wish also checking in from New York. So we have some New Yorkers in the house. Zoe. Good Zoe. I got to take you to a groomer so you can get a haircut. You're burping. Good Zoe. Good girl. West Virginia in the house. Rochester, New York in the house. Singapore in the house. Massachusetts. Illinois in the house. Andrea, nice to see you. New York in the house. And I don't know how to do this specific layout where we have it like this. But I really like this, like where I can see people's names in a circular fashion, like their profile photo pops up in a circular fashion. I really like that. Chattanooga in the house. Rainforest, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Ontario, Canada in the house. Taylor Simpson, thank you for your attention. Oklahoma in the house. Miranda or Miranda. I've never seen it spelled like that before. Miranda. That's neat. Rainforest from Washington State. Okay, a lot of people are tuned in tonight to hear the topic. We're talking about undiagnosed autism and OCD. So depending on what platform you're on, the title is going to look a little different. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see a title. It says 3 ways undiagnosed autism can look like OCD. Then it should also say, come see me live in Nashville. And I'll take a quick moment to plug my comedy shows. The Big Neurodivergent Comedy World Tour starts April the 26th in Houston, Texas. For more information on the tickets, click the link in my bio. So we're going to start off in Laurie City. Laurie's checking in from Houston. We're going to start off in Laurie City, April the 26th. The very next month, May 31st. At the end of May, we're going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, which is my hometown. So it's going to be a homecoming for me. And I hope that y'all would show up to the Zany's Lab and come out and laugh with me and my friends from California. We're all neurospicy, so it's all in the family, okay? My band from California, we're all neurospicy. So the things that we talk about on this platform, we live it. We don't just, make these things up. We live it. We deal with the sensory overload. We deal with losing things constantly. We live it. So I can't wait to see y'all on this tour. We'll add more cities as we go, but for right now, April the 26th, we're in Houston, Texas at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. The next month, we're in Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st at the Zany's Lab. June, we will be in New York City at Rodney's Comedy Club, June 11th. Then June 18th, we will be in Chicago, Illinois at the Comedy Bar. So for more information on the comedy tickets, check the link in the bio. So I just want to say that. And if you look, if you watch my videos and you understand yourself better, there's a good chance that you could be neurospicy. I'm not diagnosing you, okay? I'm not saying that you have something, but there's a good chance that you can be neurospicy, because if you relate to what I'm saying in my videos, and we don't look alike and we don't have the same upbringing, we have different backgrounds, then there's a common thread somewhere in there. And normally that common thread is the neurodivergence. You got a brain like mine. You got a brain like mine. And I'll never forget when I did my second headline show in Chicago 2 years ago. My comedy promoter was talking to me, and we were having a hard time selling tickets. And he was like, who are your people? What's the demographic? Are you people black? Are they white? Are they Hispanic? I said, no, my people are not any specific color. My people are the people who are neurodivergent. My folks are the ADHD people, the autistic folks who deal with sensory overload. My people with OCD and depression, bipolar, that's my people. I don't have a color or a certain type of person that is my people. My people are the folks who have neurodivergent brains. Those are my people. Those are my people. So if you can relate to the content that I post, then you are my people. So Rhonda, Dawn, Chase, Miranda, Judy, good to see you. All of y'all are my people. And someone says, are you LeBron? No, I'm LeBroke James. That's what the kids at the psych hospital call me, LeBroke James. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, we have a great live stream tonight. And let me talk about the inspiration for this topic. There was a video that I stitched, and I'm not sure when it's going to be posted online. I'm not sure when it'll be posted, but within the next week, it'll be posted. And in the video, I'm talking about ways that undiagnosed autism can look like OCD. And it's the premise of the video. The woman says, if your autism goes undiagnosed and untreated for too long, you can start to think that you have OCD. And I thought that was a brilliant premise, because a lot of people have undiagnosed autism and they have no idea. Because when you go in for a psychiatric appointment, your provider, for the most part, is not really checking for autism. They're checking for depression or anxiety, give you a little bit of Zoloft, Lexapro, something to take the edge off, and they send you back home. They're not really checking for ADHD as they should be. So you could have autism and you're undiagnosed. And after you do the research, like you go on WebMD, you go on TikTok, you ask ChatGPT, and you're like, oh my goodness, I have OCD. But the OCD symptoms that you think you have could be autism. What's up, Mac? And not to confuse y'all even more, but you could also have autism and OCD at the same time. So I don't want to confuse y'all here, because you can actually have both. You can have both. But a lot of people, like Chris is saying right here, I thought I was just OCD for years. This is why it's important to talk about it. Mac, we're talking about the ways that undiagnosed autism can look like OCD. It's important to talk about it, because you can really think to yourself, man, I have OCD, I have OCD, I have OCD. And if you go to the provider, if you go to your doctor and you drive home the point, hey, I have OCD, I have OCD, I have OCD, they're going to give you an antidepressant, which is what we do for OCD. They might give you like Luvox and send you back home and say, hey, go have a good day. But if it's undiagnosed autism, then you're still going to go without the support that you need, because every neurodivergent person needs external support, whether it's in the form of a system that parents have created for you, whether it's in the form of friends that are around you that are very helpful, whether it's a housekeeper, whatever accommodations you need, whether it's a sensory thing, you will need some type of external support if you are neurospicy like me. So not knowing that you have autism, it can hurt you in that regards. All right. So that's the premise, and that's why we have this topic tonight. And the number one thing, well, I have three things for y'all, and these are not in any particular order, but the first way that undiagnosed autism can look like OCD, let me drop it right here. Rigid routines. Rigid routines. I find this very fascinating right here. Rigid routines. So think about the person who has OCD. They have, all right, so let's talk about OCD first. If you actually have OCD, like diagnosed and clinical OCD, you will have rigid routines where you will maybe have rituals. You'll wash your hands multiple times a day. You gotta wash your hands. You gotta wash your hands. You gotta wash your hands. You have to go and check to see if you left the stove on. So you go back and you check. You gotta go back home. Did I lock the door? Did I lock the door? Okay, I gotta do this. Okay, all right. So let me go back and make sure that did I get the clothes from the bed? Like I'm driving right now, but is there anything behind me? I can't see what's in the back. Did I get the clothes? Did I get the clothes? So you have these routines and rituals and OCD. And you can have the same thing in autism. So the person who's autistic normally likes to do things a certain way. And it's not just, okay, in the morning I shower, I go to the gym, then I eat. It's the way you do everything, the way you put your socks on. You put the right one on first, and you put the left one on, then you put your pants on, right? And I would hope that you put your pants on. I mean, you put your underwear on, then you put your pants. Because if you do it the opposite way, then we're not doing it correctly, right? You shouldn't put your pants and then your underwear on. You know, Melissa, I can't wait to see you at the show in Nashville. Can't wait to see you. But the autistic person who has certain specific routines as to how they do everything, if you are undiagnosed for too long, you will think that you have OCD because it'll look like the person who has OCD that does everything a certain type of way. Now, here's the difference, all right? I'm going to tell y'all the difference. And not to say that I'm diagnosing y'all, but this is how you know which is which. And like I said, you could also have both. You can have both, you know, so like, not to confuse you, but you could have both. The difference is a person who has OCD, they're doing these things to relieve a thought that they have, right? They have these obsessive thoughts. And the only way to get the obsessive thought from like torturing you is you have to do the compulsion. You have to do the compulsion. You have to do that thing, or else the thought is going to torture you. So the person who has OCD, you're washing your hands, you're doing everything because you have these obsessive thoughts. If I don't do this right now, I will be anxious. Now, the person who is autistic, who's following a strict routine, the reason why they do this is for predictability, more so for regulation. You're doing this to help regulate yourself. I put my pants on the same way. I shower, you know, I scrub my chest first, then, you know, I scrub down there, and then I scrub my arm. I do everything in a certain way because it's predictable. So it helps you feel at ease. So this is how you regulate yourself. So the autistic person is doing this in a certain way so that they can regulate themselves, whereas the OCD person is doing things in a certain way to relieve these obsessive thoughts that they have. And like I said, you could have both, all right? You could have both. But the person who is living with undiagnosed autism, I probably think that you more than likely you'll think that you have OCD before you go to autism, because nobody really thinks autism. The autism kind of catches you off guard. Like that's not your first thought, but you're like, dang, this is OCD. This is OCD, right? I must have OCD. And if you tell people what you're going through, the average person will say OCD. And I like what Billy's saying here. You know, you could have all three. You could have all three. You could have OCD, ADHD, autism, and bipolar. Like you can have multiple conditions all in one. All right. You can have more than one. But if your autism is undiagnosed and you feel like you have a certain order to the way that you do things and you're very obsessive about that order, it could be autism. It doesn't have to be OCD. It could be autism. It could be autism. And Leilani, yeah, you could have both. You could have both. And look, even if you have both, you have to figure out which one is autism, which one's OCD. The things that you do to give you relief from the anxiety of the thoughts in your brain, That's OCD. Now, the things that you do to help feel regulated and to give you like a predictable sense of how you go about things, that's the autism. That's the autism. It's very difficult to regulate yourself when you're neurospicy, all right? If you have a neurospicy brain like mine, it's very difficult to regulate yourself. But nobody teaches you how to regulate your emotions and your mood. They should be teaching this stuff in grade school, but nobody teaches you how to do this. So kids that don't learn how to regulate themselves become adults that don't know how to regulate themselves. And then sometimes we use substances or even sex to regulate ourselves because we don't know how to do it. But one of the key ways that we regulate ourselves every single day is by having a predictable routine. And that's the autism part. And for my boys and girls who have autism and ADHD, the autism part of you helps to keep you in check. All right, helps to keep you in check because the ADHD you want to do you want to freestyle and you want to like shoot 3-pointers and layups, and then the autism is like, all right, we're just gonna shoot this free throw. We're just gonna be structured and follow this routine, and that is what keeps you in check. It helps to regulate you. If you do things in the same order every single time, and even if you wake up at the same time every day, you go to bed at the same time, if you have a predictable nature to how you do things, it helps to regulate you. You're much less likely to be depressed if you follow a strict routine. So there are some advantages to autism. Doing things in a certain order every single day in a certain way. That is one of the biggest advantages to autism. And if you have ADHD as well, like I said, the ADHD lets you freestyle. We can have some fun. I feel like it's kind of better to have both, right? Because you want to have a little bit, you want to have a little bit of fun too. You can't follow your routine all the time, but for the most part, if you have that strict routine, then it's going to help you. It's going to regulate you. It's one of the best ways to regulate yourself. Having a strict routine and getting sleep. Those are two things right there that we can all do every single day to regulate ourselves. And you can do it all by yourself. All by yourself. Strict routine. Getting sleep. Now, food can make you happy, but that's different. Sex can also regulate you, but that involves another person. But you can do these two by yourself. Sleep and the strict routine. Sleep and the strict routine. So number one, like I said, rigid routines. One way that undiagnosed autism can look like OCD. Now this second one right here, this right here is one of the biggest reasons why it's hard to tell what is what. This one right here, and these are not in any particular order, but this one could easily be number one. All right. So repetitive behaviors. Repetitive behaviors. All right. Second thing on my list. When you have autism, I think we all know that you can have repetitive behaviors, right? Stimming, repeating certain vocal phrases over and over. Sometimes just saying the same thing over and over can make you feel good, like a vocal stim. Let's say you hear something that's funny or a jingle that's super catchy, hella catchy. Repeating that over and over and over and over as a form of stimming, it helps to regulate you. It's a pleasurable sensory experience to say this thing over and over, to listen to this jingle, to flap your arms, to rock. You're doing this to help regulate yourself because that's what stimming does. It helps you regulate yourself. Now you can have repetitive behaviors when you have OCD. But once again, these are repetitive behaviors, right? Let's say you're rocking, or let's say like you're checking multiple things. Once again, if you do this in OCD, it's done because you're having these obsessive thoughts. You're having these obsessive thoughts. And the only way to get temporary relief from the anxiety of the obsessive thoughts is to do something. You know that there's nothing underneath the remote. There's no germs underneath the remote, but it just makes you feel better to check behind it. Okay. Check behind it. Check behind it. Okay, nothing here. Check behind it. Nothing here. Now, you could be doing this to stim. You could be throwing things up in the air to stim. If you have OCD, you could be doing this as well, but you're just trying to make sure that there's no germs on this, that there's nothing hazardous behind this little remote, just to make sure that you're safe. And another thing with OCD, another way to really tell the difference is with OCD, these compulsions, it's supposed to take you a long time to go through all of these. Like, it's a very time consuming thing. It's a very like, if you actually, because everybody says, you'll hear people say, I got a little OCD. I got a little OCD. I got a little OCD. If you actually have OCD, like DSM-5, like you actually have OCD, it would take a big chunk of your time every single day. It's very time consuming. It's very time consuming. It is very time consuming. The compulsions take, and some people have a form of OCD where you don't have the compulsions, right? But if you have classic OCD, I have these thoughts I can't get out of my head. I can't get it. I can't shake it. I can't shake it. I have to do something to shake the thoughts. It will take you quite some time. Like, we talk about the person who is washing their hands. You could spend 2 hours washing your hands in a single day. And most people can't wash their hands for 20 seconds. You know that when you're washing your hands in the bathroom, you're supposed to say happy birthday. I think once or twice. I'm not sure. But happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You're supposed to sing it happy birthday. 20 seconds. 20 seconds of singing happy birthday to wash your hands. People don't do that. The next time you're in a public restroom, just watch people and look at how long it takes them to wash their hands. And I've seen guys leave the restroom without washing their hands and then go and dap somebody up. I'm like, you're nasty. That's nasty. That's a violation. You should never do that. Don't leave the restroom without washing your hands and go, no. Oh. But most folks don't. Oh, you see moms do that too? Come on, moms. Wash your hands, moms. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. So you're supposed to sing happy birthday twice. I've never seen somebody wash your hands for 20 seconds, like actually get in there for 20 seconds. So the person who has OCD, who is washing their hands, that can take you 2 hours out of your day. So think about how much time you lose due to the compulsions. Think about how much time. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. That is a lot of time. And Scott, you're right. What you don't know won't hurt you. Yeah, you're right. So if you don't wash your hands and you try and dap me up, don't let me know, because the moment I know, I'm like, that's hella nasty. That's hella nasty. So number 2, repetitive behaviors. In autism, that's stimming. It's done to help you regulate yourself. In OCD, it's done because you have to relieve the anxiety that comes from having these thoughts. You have to relieve the anxiety that comes from these thoughts. And somebody on TikTok says, and we tell our babies to wash. I do this right here. Have hand sanitizer at your shows. I think the club provides those. I'm not a big germaphobe, but some people don't be washing their hands. Some people wash their hands. And Renee makes a good point here. The intrusive thoughts are worse than the compulsions. That could be the case. And Renee, I think earlier she mentioned that she has OCD. So speaking from personal experience, and the intrusive thoughts, you can spend a lot of time in your head. You can spend a lot of time in your head thinking about the things that are bothering you. So that's, that's also very time consuming and not cool at all. Not cool at all. Chase, thank you for supporting. Thank you for grabbing your tickets. All right, the third way that undiagnosed autism can look like OCD right here. Need for symmetry. Let me make sure I spell symmetry correct. I was a spelling bee champion in 5th grade, and now, like, spelling, I have to double check behind myself. Need for symmetry / order. All right. When you're autistic, a lot of times you have this need for symmetry and order. You don't want things to be out of order. You have a set way on how you do things, and you need things to be, if this isn't where it's supposed to be, it's going to frustrate you. All right. And for my people out there who have autism and ADHD, this is the part of you, the autistic part, that helps you keep things like in line. Like, because the ADHD side of you makes it very difficult to keep things clean, but then the autistic side of you wants order and needs things to be done symmetrically. This has to be here. We have to have order. This, if it's not like this, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. If things aren't where I left them, if things aren't like this, it's gonna frustrate me. Because if things aren't the way that I left them, it's gonna throw me off. Anything that throws off the autistic person normally leads to mood swings. So if you can't go about your routine the way you normally do it because you've been thrown off, now you're pissed. Now you're pissed because this doesn't make any sense. Like why did somebody come into my room and rearrange my stuff? Because now I can't find the pillowcases. So whenever I make my bed, I make the bed by making the pillows first. If I can't find the pillowcases, I can't make the bed. And you can, but you're autistic and you need to do things in a certain order. You do the pillowcases first, but because somebody came and took your pillowcases, now you can't put the pillows in the pillowcase. Now you're just thrown off. You need things to be symmetrical. You need to be ordered. And once again, this is done because this helps you regulate yourself, doing things this way every single time, right? And Andrea saying, how dare you fold the towels and apps? Right. And you can also have this need for symmetry and order with OCD. You can have this need. And when you have like a need for things to be symmetrical and things aren't a certain way, for the person who has OCD, it's going to cause you a lot of distress, a lot of frustration, because it's going to cause you to be more in your head. Because the compulsion, you have to put things in order. But if things are out of order, then like you can't rest. You cannot rest. You can't rest because you need things to be symmetrical. You need, and if it's not, then you're spending a lot of time. Once again, OCD is very time consuming. It's one of the most time consuming mental health conditions out there. Now you're spending so much time in your head wondering why things are out of order. Why are things out of order? They need to be, I need 2 of this one thing in this particular block. I need another 2 right here. I need, like, you spend so much time organizing everything, and it's going to lead to a lot of distress if you can't get it organized. Likewise with autism, if things are not symmetrical, it could throw you off your square. And if it throws you off your square, then you can't do things in a certain way. Now you can't regulate yourself. You can't regulate yourself. And Renee, who has OCD, says, I need things in groups of 3, 5. Paintings must be straight. Books must be aesthetically pleasing. And Renee says she has OCD. This will take you a lot of time. Like, you spend a lot of time thinking about this. Like, why aren't things like in groups of 3 or 5? Like why is this painting a little crooked? Why is it a little crooked? Why is this book not aesthetically pleasing? And someone says things have to be in counts of 4. Okay. Wow. I keep my eggs organized as I use them. They have to be even in the carton. It's so weird. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. And Vicky says, my teen has this bad habit of chewing on water bottle caps as well as the bottle. Is this considered stimming, or is he doing this because of anxiety? Good question right here. Really good question. So Vicky's teen likes to chew on the water bottle caps right here. Chewing on it, is it considered stimming? So it could be, I mean, it could be stimming. You know, it could be something that's done to help you regulate yourself. I more so would say that this is something that is done out of anxiety. And it doesn't have to be OCD. It could just be I'm anxious. So I'm anxious that I have this test coming up. So I'm going to just chew on this water bottle cap. But it seems to be more rooted in anxiety. Now, if these water bottle caps, like having them in your mouth, like maybe chewing on it is something that is done, and after it's done, your teenager feels so much better, and they like to play with the water bottle cap, maybe like just see how it feels in their hands, and maybe like toss it up a little bit, then it could be more so stimming. But it seems like it's anxiety. Seems like it's anxiety. My son ate my couch. How to eat your couch? How to eat your couch? What in the world? And Carla on TikTok says, I do the same thing as Renee. Everything in my house has to be in order from big to small. So Carla says everything in her house has to be in order from big to small. Do you know how big Carla's house is? I don't know how big her house is, but that's a lot of time that's spent making sure that everything is in that specific order. Everything is in that specific order. Very, very time consuming. And it can be, painful to see that one thing is not in order. And you could be working on a priority task, but seeing that something is out of order, now we have to go fix that one thing. Now it's costing you a lot of time. It's costing you a lot of time. A lot of time. House is 10 stories. That's funny. Someone says, I feel the distress in my frontal lobe and my chest. Robin, I appreciate you. And this is not pre-recorded. This is live. Especially if you're on TikTok right now, this is live. On Facebook and on YouTube, the live streams, you can watch them after the fact. But if you're watching this on TikTok right now, it's 100% live. It is 100% live. Pen caps are pen caps are great for chewing. I used to do that too as a kid. I used to really do that as a kid. Yeah, we're live. We're live on Facebook. Denise, I love you too. Books are his favorite that have adult chew toys. Adult chew toys for autism. Wow. We need more of those. We need more of those. And Cody's saying, one of my number one stims I just realized is a stim is tapping my fingers against my thumb in order 1, 2, 3, 4, back and forth. I usually play a tune in my head when I'm doing it. Ah, okay. Now I'm looking at how you have to do this in order. This looks very autistic right here. And I'm not diagnosing you. I'm not saying that you're part of the family, but this looks very autistic. Tapping your fingers against your thumb in order 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back and forth. So do you reverse it in the same order? If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, do you go 4, 3, 2, 1? And usually play a tune in your head while doing it. Yeah, this definitely seems like a stim. This is definitely a stim because playing this song in your head as you're going like this, it would regulate you. You would feel better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverses of order. I figured. Mrs. JFLMC, I appreciate that. I had to wear Invisalign 3 times, so now I force my smile throughout the day on purpose. I'm like, I spent too much money to not smile. I gotta smile now. I'm not allowed to have clicking pens. I spin them, then click, 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 click. Yeah, this is one of the key ways to stim, especially for kids. But I'm sure, because I still do this as an adult. I'll still click the heck out of a pen and annoy whoever is in my area. that sound is just very pleasing to me. That click, 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 click. I really like that. Tap harder with the palms of your finger with the palms of you feel it. Oh, Colleen. Okay. Okay. A lot of stems unlocked tonight. My stem is picking up other people. That's funny right there. That's funny. That click pen. Oh, yeah. We can annoy a lot of people with that click pen. Renee says, I have to touch doorknobs with the back of my hand before I open the door so I don't get the electric shock. Okay. And see, there's also a sensory element to this as well. Obviously, this is, OCD behavior, but there's a sensory element because that electric shock is such a perverse stimuli. Like it's so awful to get that buzz. So you'll go to great lengths to avoid it. Link in the bio for the show in June in Chicago. That's June 18th at the Comedy Bar. The link should be in the bio. I feel like a lot of girls do micro hand stems. Is that what it's called? Micro hand stems? This is definitely a stem. And I started my live streams doing this right here. It took me a while to realize that that's a stem. So it says my stem is talking. I can't touch paper if my skin is dry on TikTok. I could do the clicking one, but no one around me better do it. Linda, that's very ADHD coded. Linda on TikTok says, I can do the clicking, but no one around me better do it. I feel the same exact way. I can click, but you better not click around me. Because if I'm clicking, then I'm in control of the clicking. I can stop once I'm tired. But if somebody else is doing the clicking now, I'm not in control of the clicking. Yes, I was a gifted kid. Yes, I was a gifted kid. A lot of us in here with autism and ADHD and or ADHD were gifted kids. Any gifted kids in the chat? If you were a gifted kid, put a 1 in the chat. I'm trying to see something. Put a 1 in the chat. I'm trying to see something. What about standing on your toes, going up and down? Definitely a stem. Definitely a stem, Hunter. And this is actually a pretty nice stem. I like to do this as well. Standing on your tippy toes as a grown man. I do that. Gifted kids right here. Gifted kid, gifted kid, gifted. Look at all these gifted kids in the chat. Gifted and burnt out. Gifted kid. Can't wait to see you in Chicago. Gifted kid, gifted in the retired class, gifted. On TikTok, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 on TikTok. 19. Wow. 20. Wow. Struggled, then gifted. Back to struggling as an adult. A lot of us, and see, that's why neurodivergence, it is a superpower when you have support. Neurodivergence without support is a nightmare. And when you become an adult, and a lot of times when you have no support as an adult is because we don't have our parents around, we don't have the school system. Like, even as toxic as the school system is, it's not really meant for us. It does give us some type of structure. And then you grow up and then there's no structure at all and there's no support. You turn to a burnt out adult. An adult that's working just as hard, but you're getting like maybe a half of the benefits of your work. And you're working hard on the wrong things too. A lot of us who are gifted as kids, you were praised for the things that you could do well, but you had that support from the structure. So now without the support, this is what happens right here. Claudia, this is what happens right here, the skill regression. And this is definitely a real thing. Ooh, I wish it wasn't real, but this is definitely a real thing. It's definitely a real thing. It's so hard. And this is one I mean, this might be the most embarrassing part of neurodivergence, honestly. The skill regression. I think it's the most embarrassing. You can't do the things that you once could do as an adult. I mean, I mean, it goes without saying. It goes without saying. And a lot of us as adults, you know, are by ourselves. You know, we're lonely, or we don't have, the help of parents, or maybe parents are aging, or maybe you're single, you don't have anybody, and you could be in a relationship, and you could be embarrassed to ask your partner to help you out, like even just getting the groceries, driving, laundry. I mean, someone says, I lost my social skills 6 years ago and becoming disabled. It's tough. It's very difficult. And also, speaking about all these gifted kids, if you were gifted, you were in AP classes in high school, you were in the IB I was in the IB program. It damn near made my head spin. I don't know how I graduated, but I was in the IB program. But these gifted kids, IB, AP, you were in all the advanced classes in middle school. Keep in mind, you were praised for your intellect, and you were praised for your skills. So if you grow up and you become a burnt out adult and your skills regress, now your confidence drops as well, because a lot of your confidence was rooted in the fact that, oh, I'm pretty good at this, I'm pretty good at that, like I'm known for these things. But when you can no longer do these things, you have this full-on identity crisis, and it's uh, very yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Colleen, IB programs are no joke. My kids, whenever I have my kids will not do the IB program. No, ma'am, no ham, no turkey. My kids are not doing the IB program. Nope. It was just and I came out of it, and it helped me out. I became a better writer, and like I have 2 books now, and like it helped me out. I'm not gonna lie, it helped me out. But man, I didn't need to be under that much pressure in high school. That, like that's the curse of the gifted kid. You work so hard on the things that don't matter. No, 16-year-old me should have been chasing more girls. I should have been I should have been in those classes. No, no, it was too much. Linda says both my kids did IB, daughter with ADHD. Linda, way to go to your kids. IB is not easy. IB is not easy. Not easy. I was a professor whisperer in college. Skill regression at work is what led to me asking the questions leading to my diagnosis. So this right here is actually one of the benefits of skill regression. Not that we want this to happen, but this is one of the things that leads people to ask themselves questions like, "Dang, something is going on. Like something ain't right. Something is going on, and I need some type of help." And then when you look into it more, then you connect the dots. You're like, "Oh my goodness, it's ADHD the whole time. Oh my goodness, it's autism. What in the world? What?" You just have to connect the dots. So that's one potential benefit to skill regression. And once you get the diagnosis, then you get the help, because every neurodivergent person needs external support. Sometimes I like to delude myself, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm Dr. Kojo, I'm fine." And then I'll have a week where I can't get anything done because the place is dirty. And I can get up and clean it, but it's just too hard to get up and clean. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm just waiting for the housekeeper to come. The housekeeper comes once a week, and I know that's a privilege. It's definitely a privilege, and most people probably can't have that happen. But the housekeeper coming, and I've told my family this: if everything goes to shit, and I lose everything, I have no money in my bank account, I will find a way to have a housekeeper. Like I can do public transportation, I can sell my car, but please don't take away the housekeeper, because cleaning the house is so difficult for me. just getting up and folding the clothes, it'll make you cry if you think about how hard it is to get some of these things done. My goodness. My goodness. Together we can. I can't wait to see you at the Chicago show. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. This is something that's interesting to realize, that not everybody has a narrator, an inner monologue. And then you're like, why is my narrator so negative? Why is my narrator so negative? Andrew says, also, I'm synthetically happy. High masking. And look, if you're one of these people, these gifted kids, or you're a high masker, I mean, this is a topic for another day, but when you're neurodivergent, you can't just date anybody. You can't just be friends with anybody. You need friends that are okay if you don't reply to every text in like the group thread. You need friends that are okay with you going off the radar for 3 weeks and you pop back up like nothing happened. You need somebody in your corner that you don't have to mask around. Like, isn't that a nightmare? What do you mean? What do you mean you have to go to work and you have to mask and you have to laugh at jokes that aren't funny? And you have to talk about the weather and you have to talk about what people did on the weekends. And then you go back home to your person and then you're masking in front of your person? Oh, heck no. Oh, heck no. 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 Tara on TikTok. Tara, that's hilarious. Tara says, so if a guy ignores you for a week, maybe he's autistic. Tara, truthfully speaking, he could be autistic, all right? He really could be. He could be. He could be. And this is why it's important. You don't have to tell somebody that you have autism on the dating app or whenever you meet them, but it's helpful to let somebody know, all right, hey, I like you, and we've been seeing each other for 3 weeks, but I'm not the type of person that will text you every day. But me not texting you for 3 days doesn't mean that I don't like you, but it means that I'm knee deep into what I'm doing now, and I'll text you on the weekends. And if the person who has a really good routine, who's autistic, said that they'll text you on the weekends, then they'll text you on the weekends. But the responsibility of having to text somebody every day could be too much. And that's why when people say, if he wanted to, he would, that doesn't work for neurodivergence. It doesn't work for neurodivergent guys. If he wanted to, he would. And I guess you could say if she wanted to, she would. You could flip it both ways. It doesn't always work for those of us who are neurodivergent, because when you have ADHD and or autism, and you also suffer from executive dysfunction, there's a big gap between what you want to do and what you end up doing. Having the desire to do something is not the same as being able to do the thing. The problem lies in the execution. So this is why it's helpful to know yourself and to know what you're up against. My object permanence extends. And this right here, that's the ADHD right there. That's the ADHD. You forget that people exist because they're on the other side of the country. That's the ADHD right there. Elaborate some. On my earlier point, Susie, just saying that wanting to do something and then doing it are two different things. I could want. All right, I'll use myself. I have some clothes on my bed that I want to fold. I've been wanting to fold these clothes since Monday. All right. Since Monday, I've been wanting to fold these clothes. Have I folded them? No. Every day this week, I have slept on the couch. Housekeeper comes next week, Monday. When she comes, more than likely, she'll fold them. How long would it take me to fold these clothes? Probably like 15, 20 minutes. But, and look, I would love to leave this live stream and go fold the clothes. But then I get there and I'm like, damn, the clothes. I want to do it, but the follow through is just not there. And Kelsey, once again, the inner critic in our heads, you can't beat yourself up. You have to be your own best friend. Like, you have to talk to yourself like a kid and say, "Good job. We left the house today. Good job." Like the way you talk to your dog, you have to talk to yourself the same way. "We left the house today. Good job. I did 4 loads today. Hey, you should be proud of yourself. 4? That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Together we can. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming, and looking forward to seeing you at the show in Chicago. This is another one right here. It's very difficult to watch new shows and movies, even though I want to. You want to watch the new series that came out on Apple TV, but you end up watching The Office because you know what's going to happen. It regulates you. You feel good. I have the same problem. I have the same problem. People will come up to me and recommend all these great shows. I'm like, oh, I want to watch it so bad. I end up watching The Last Dance. I've seen it a million times. And somebody made a post on social media. They said, why am I procrastinating smoking the weed I want to smoke, or something like that? I thought that was hilarious, because even things that aren't like productive that you want to do, you could struggle to get those things done, because it's like, all right, I still have to do it. I still have to do the thing. Michelle says, just got diagnosed with level 1 autism last week at 43. Your video started my journey. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, I love those comments. I love those comments. Like, I get to be a part of people's journey, and like it means so much to me. It means so much to me. Michelle's 43. I mean, I've spoken about this multiple times, but the 43-year-old woman who has been living 4 decades of her life with undiagnosed autism. Think about all the big decisions that you made without knowing you were autistic. Now, Michelle, I don't know you, but a 43-year-old woman, average 43-year-old, they would have made decisions about their career. They would have decided who they want to spend their life with, what they do for fun, who their friends are. You're making all these big, big decisions, not knowing that fundamentally you have a condition that requires you to have support. You're supposed to have some support. And Walter, this is a great live show topic. A great live show topic. We should definitely talk about alexithymia. And I wish I had a pen, but I'll let this right here, so I don't forget. But yeah, emotional blindness is what this is. Not knowing how you feel. It makes it hard for you to, advocate for yourself. And Lavita, I agree with this, but I'm not sure if everybody. So some people are funny when it comes to their diagnosis, because especially people who, they go back and they tell their parents, and their parents are like, "Oh, you were diagnosed when you were 6. We just never told you." I hate to laugh, but like, you have to find the humor in it. Parents are like, "Oh yeah, they said you had ADHD when you were a kid." Like, I was an adult before my mom told me that they were trying to put me in speech therapy classes. I was like, "You never told me this." Like, I kind of needed to know that. I needed to know that. Like, what? Like, you just, mentioned it one day out the blue. Yeah, they said you had autism, but I said no. And parents would be like, no. Oh, my little brother went to the psychiatrist for a checkup. Say he was depressed. They tried to give him Zoloft. My mom said no. My mom told doctor no, he's not taking it. Well, but the older generation, they didn't know. So, she's becoming your wife becoming a life coach for neurospy. Walter, I love to hear this. My wife just got diagnosed with ADHD and alexithymia at 47. Congratulations to her. And like, she can speak to so many people. And Walter, obviously, she made some good decisions in life, like marrying you, So like, she did the best that she could with the information that she had. But man, sometimes there's that gap in missed potential that's very difficult for people to deal with, where you're like, man, if I had the support when I was younger, like, do you know how high I could have flown? Do you know what I could have done? So having her like, she's speaking from personal experience. It's one thing to hear it from like anybody, but somebody who's like lived it, my goodness, she's lived it. She has lived it. Rebecca on TikTok, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But I mean, it's an array of emotions that you feel when you first understand that you have this diagnosis that makes your whole life make sense. It was like, oh, no wonder why I couldn't stand it when my parents were combing my hair. Like, no wonder why I tried to fight them. Like, it was a sensory thing. It was hurting my head. No wonder why it took me forever to get out of bed. No wonder why I couldn't eat the school lunch because of the texture. Yeah, like, what could have been if you were diagnosed sooner, right? Because all the years where you're not getting that support, guess what? You're going many years without support. So if you are somebody who's diagnosed later in life, you should really give yourself a lot of credit. Like, you should give yourself a lot of credit. You have all these negative voices in your head, but you should give yourself a lot of credit because you raw dogged two of the hardest conditions to raw dog, and you made it. Now I know that probably could have done better with more help, but man, you got to give yourself some credit. You got to give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit. ADHD here. I started running in 2017, and I was able to stop smoking and get off all my meds. Congratulations. Congrats, Andrew. Congrats. That's awesome. And like, the support that you need, it varies from person to person. Right. So Andrew's saying that started running, and it was the running. And I'm looking at Andrew's photo right there. Looks like he has like a medal on. So Andrew's been running. Y'all hear my back cracking? Andrew's been running for almost a decade now, and it's helped him stop smoking and get off all medications. So running was a big part of the support that Andrew needed. Now, the support that you need could be different. Somebody on TikTok had asked about like the medication. I missed it. The medication. Do you find certain medicine works well for ADHD? So the ADHD part, you can treat that with stimulants. Then the autism part, antidepressants or mood stabilizers, anything that can be done to help you improve your ability to communicate. So not every autistic person has to be on meds, and not every ADHD person has to be on meds. But if it makes your load like lighter, if it makes it lighter, then why not? Why not? Oh, he wish you could crack your back. It's such a good feeling. It could be a stem of mine, but it's such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. I'm in my 40s, received a diagnosis as a child. Everyone still told me I was just bad, no support. Cassandra, sorry to hear this. And in our community, I mean, don't get me started. I got so much work to do in our community. I got so much work to do in our community. I wish we talked about it more. I mean, being autistic is one thing. Being Black as well. Oh, and Cassandra, I'm laughing because I'm just thinking about conversations I've had with family and people who don't get it. Like, the only thing you can do is laugh, because like, you'll tell somebody you need support, and they're like, no, like, you're not that. What do you mean I'm not that? How are you gonna tell me that I'm not that? How are you gonna tell me that I'm not that? Or shame you for taking medications? Oh, we got a lot of work to do in the Black community. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work. A lot of work. Crackle knuckles is a sim of mine. Michelle says, me too. And Kayla, they won't let me. Let me catch my words. They won't let me talk about certain medications on live stream. Like I've gotten flagged for that. But the mood stabilizers, they vary based on the person, But the whole goal of mood stabilizers, especially with autism, is to help you communicate better. So the example I give is, think about when you're very upset, like when you're pissed off. Think about your most intense mood swing. When you're pissed off, your ability to communicate lowers. So with mood stabilizers, if we're able to even your mood and bring you from being so elevated, right, then your ability to communicate goes like that. And once your ability to communicate drops, you become more frustrated. So that's what mood stabilizers would do. Leilani, I appreciate that. We'll go to we'll go to 1 hour 30. Go to 1 hour 30. Let me get a lot of questions in, talk to the community. Andrea, don't say that about yourself. Don't say that about yourself. No, nobody on my platform can call themselves ugly. Nope. No, you have to speak highly about yourself over here. You gotta speak highly about yourself. The only place where self-deprecation is allowed is in comedy. So, Andrea, if you're a stand-up comedian like myself and you're doing a show, sure, then you can be self-deprecating. But outside of stand-up comedy, no self-deprecation is allowed. No self-deprecation is allowed. I can't let you do yourself like that. And think of next time you have a negative thought in your head, guys, don't let you do you like that. Because that negative monster in our head, man, is awful. It's awful. Yes, I'm from Ghana, West Africa. Ghana, West Africa. Nestle, I appreciate that. And I had a barber in Dallas, Texas, who told me, he said that we are all a couple of, big checks away from being very beautiful people. My barber in Dallas said that. So his whole thing was like, ain't nobody ugly. Like, you just need $20,000. That's his whole thing. So, yeah, like, we're just underfunded. Just say that we're just underfunded. Okay, I mean, you can say average. Ugly is too strong of a word. It's too strong of a word. You can say average, sure, but don't say ugly. And if you have jokes, like I would love, I'm all for comedy. Hit an open stage somewhere where you're at. Somebody asked a question on TikTok. How do I fix a relationship after being manic? It feels like I'm doing the cleanup for someone else. Well, I mean, once again, self-compassion. Like after mania, self-compassion, because a lot of the decisions that you made, once like you realize, what has happened, there's a lot of shame there, a lot of guilt. So self-compassion and apologize to people that you may have hurt, but don't over apologize. You don't have to go on an apology tour. Don't over apologize. Just do what you can. Just do what you can. We got these spinners, me and my sons. Adults have to see. That's the thing about being an adult. People will shame you for having fidget spinners and doing things to regulate yourself. Or imagine an adult who is stimming at work. Like, think about how odd that would be. You're at work and you're stimming. People are going to be, put off by that. But kids are allowed to stim. One kid stim is play. But how come we can't play? Like, how come we can't have fun? Like we can play. Adults need to be able to play. Molly, no, Ghana. Andrew's Ghana. But Mali is close to Ghana, so that's pretty close. Dana, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I'm assuming that you're talking about autism and ADHD. And it's important to know that you have both. It's important to know that you have both. It's very important to know that you have both. Because the autism acts as a parent to the ADHD. And the ADHD gives you a chance to be spontaneous. So that's good. But we gotta keep them in check. We gotta keep them in check. I got an autistic mind with ADHD mouth. Oh, so autism and ADHD? Yeah. And as adults, what I'm seeing happen is the adults are getting the ADHD diagnosis first, then the autism diagnosis second. That's what I'm seeing most adults go through. Or maybe they'll have a child who has autism and or ADHD, then the child gets diagnosed and then they get the diagnosis. So those are the patterns that I'm seeing. Ah, somebody I have a ring on my pointer finger that spins for stimming. Oh wow. I do it as a bartender and I definitely confuse people. Abby, that's dope though. That's dope. You can stim as a bartender. Can you stim um I oh are you asking me if I stim more in public places? So now like within the past year and a half, I'd say I've been um stimming more just wherever. But it was very difficult for me to stim in public because I assume people are looking at me and kind of being in my head. But now I stim anywhere. I stim in public. I stim on the toilet. I stim everywhere. Classic. That's what happened with me. Figured out ADHD 2 years ago, then autism recently. Right. And once you know these things about yourself, you feel like you're a superhuman because now you can advocate for yourself. You can advocate for yourself. D. Rivera, my pleasure. My pleasure. Not knitting, crocheting. Yeah. But I mean, it sucks that when it comes to stimming, you have to think about what's socially acceptable. I mean, most adults will think about this. If I'm being realistic, like you're gonna think about it. So, yeah, knitting, crocheting. But when you get to the point where, as you care less, you just get so much power. My son is ADHD and I'm autistic. My mom says she felt so much validation after my son's diagnosis since I never got my diagnosis in childhood. And see, that's the whole point of being a parent. You want to do better than your parents, did. Like you want to learn from what they did right, do that, and then you want to also figure out ways to, help your kids out. And then your kids will also help out their kids in ways that you can help them out too. My cousin's friend and her husband has 3 autistic kids, and they don't understand where it stems from. Right, right. They're gonna be shocked when they realize that either one of them, if not both of them, is probably on the spectrum. Let me see. Public stimming is those micro hand motions, leg shakes. Lets me look busy. I usually try to mindfully do a checklist. Like, is there a background noise, white noise? Oh yeah, that's something that we like a lot. The background noises. Is the input. I appreciate you. Starting therapy for potential OCD, but suspect I'm also ADHD. Yeah, and like I said at the top of the stream, you could definitely have all 3, but it's still important to know like which one of your behaviors is coming from what. Oh, this is from the OCD. Me checking the stove a million times before I leave the house. Got it. Okay. Me putting my clothes on in a certain way. Oh, that's the autism. Got it. It just helps you know yourself better, and also for your kids too. When you see things in yourself, then you kind of able to pick it out in your kids as well. And Serena, for people who missed the 3 ways. Number 1, rigid routines. 3 ways that undiagnosed autism can look like OCD. Having rigid routines. Number 2, repetitive behaviors. And number 3, need for symmetry or order. So those are 3 ways that undiagnosed autism can look like OCD. The difference is that with autism, you do these things to regulate yourself. With OCD, you do these things to give you relief from the obsessive thoughts that you're having. Toe curling. Okay. Toe curling. All the t-shirts say, my autistic son. If I ever get overwhelmed at work, I'll put on spa music. Spa music. Okay. I like that. I like that. Mac, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. This could be a way to regulate yourself. This could be a way to regulate yourself. It's pretty hereditary, Heather. It's pretty hereditary. I mean, you're getting it from a parent. If not from you, from dad. If not from you or dad, from grandma or grandfather, somewhere along the line. Like that's the biggest contributor to developing ADHD and or autism, having a parent who has it. But with the older generations, nobody talked about these things, so it's just a big, it's a big old guessing game to figure out what's going on. And BPD and bipolar get mixed up with autism, ADHD, because when you have autism and ADHD, both of those conditions can lead to mood swings. Like each one by itself, autism and ADHD, can lead to a lot of mood swings. And I don't think we talk about the emotional part of autism, ADHD enough. Like the intense emotions that you have is very difficult, because sometimes even when you're happy, you'll be intensely happy. You're like, all right, I don't want to feel so damn happy. Like, and nobody will be like, oh, it's too much happiness. That's a problem. But you just feel it so intensely. And sometimes you're like, I don't want to feel it so strongly, because the come down from it is going to be rough. And then when you feel anger, you feel anger so intensely as well. It's like, okay, if I can just not screw up right now, is a big win, because I feel that intense anger. Or like when you're dating somebody for the first time, you feel this intense lust/love for them, this limerence, and then at some point it wears off. So just having intense emotions is very draining. It is draining to feel everything so intensely. And if you could just kind of like tone it down, a lot of us would choose to do that. Alexis, what's going on? Good to see you. But the intense emotions, feeling everything so damn loudly is difficult. And I don't think that the DSM accounts for that as well as it should, because there's an emotional side to autism and ADHD that right there, that will drain your energy. That will drain your energy. Feeling things so deeply, or like Andrew's saying, feeling things out loud is so intense, and that can make you feel like you have BPD or bipolar. But and as my mentor told me, mood swings, intense emotions, feeling really happy one moment, feeling sad the next, all that could be explained by itself by autism. All that could be explained by just ADHD. Like you could have one diagnosis of autism, and that could explain all the intense emotional stuff. So it's double-edged sword, because when you have that raw emotion, like let's say you're playing sports, all right, you have an arena to channel your emotions. Like, great, I scored a touchdown, I'm fired up like Tom Brady, like I'm pumped. That's great. If you're in the gym, you got a new high on the bench press, I'm pumped. But when we don't have an arena to get our emotions out, and it festers within, it becomes just so much to deal with. There's so much to deal with, and it's not fun. I told him I'm too passionate when I speak. You could hear that as well. And most people don't speak with passion. So if you're speaking with passion, it's like, damn, like, why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? Please make a video on BPD and ADHD. Okay, gotcha. I think that'd be a good video. That'd be a really good video. And Tatum is saying, as someone who has both bipolar and ADHD is a struggle. Right. I mean, now if you have bipolar and ADHD, then that's that's even harder to keep the mood in check. It makes it that much more important for you to keep a schedule, keep a routine, to get sleep, to avoid things that throw your emotions all over the place. And it's important to know what your triggers are. Like especially as a young adult. Figure out like what are your triggers and how can you limit your exposure to these things. Because if something pisses you off every time it happens, how can I be exposed to this thing less? I know I'm gonna get pissed off when I do this, so I'm just gonna not. And sometimes for some people, that's like relationships. I'm gonna, you know, swear off of relationships because I just keep being pissed so much, or certain work environments. I can't work in this environment because it's just too much for me. It's too much for me. And here's another thing, also feeling other people's emotions. Make you ficky. We gotta be careful, like we have to figure out how to compartmentalize and care for people, but we can't let it take over. We can't let it take over because man, it's your own emotions by itself is a lot, but then other people's emotions is like, dang, now I'm drained. Now I'm drained. Concussions, like Mac is saying, there's a lot of things that can throw your mood off. I don't know if you speak about a video on ADHD and spending impulsivity. Kayla, so yeah, I'll speak on it right now. I'm not sure if I've talked about it before, but spending, impulsive spending. So that right there is, I think it's more so aligned with ADHD, but you can also have that with autism because anything that deals with your mood going up and down can lead to impulsivity, right? Max saying make it ficky. It can lead to your mood going up and down, right? So anytime you have mood swings of any kind, you can see some impulsivity. So when you have autism and or ADHD, it's very important to account for the fact that you could be impulsive. So if you want to buy something on Amazon Prime, before you hit the buy now button, how about you put it in the cart and we come back in 24 hours, 48 hours, we come back in 72 hours. You have to find ways to account for the tendencies that you have. You know that every Friday you get paid, you want to go spend quickly. How can you create a system to protect you from you? That's the key right there. I was talking to my sister and she said, I have to create a system to protect me from me. And I felt that on a deep and personal level. I got to protect me from me. I got to protect me from me. I felt that. Free balling. Yeah, I'd be free balling sometimes. Like how do I protect me from me? I know that I can be a Mickey Ficky. I know that, when I meet a girl, that first 2 weeks, it's tough to keep up that energy. We're going here, we're going there. I'm so enthralled with her and I want to spend some. I know that I'm busy. I know I spend so much time making content, traveling, doing stand-up comedy. Like, how can I keep up that same energy? So I learned, okay, I gotta go slower. I know that I like to buy things impulsively. So okay, I'm gonna put things in the cart, come back to it later. You have to protect yourself by creating a system that protects you from you. You have to, if you don't have a system for it, then you will not do what you want to do. You'll do what you feel like doing. If that makes sense. You don't do what you want to do. You do what you feel like doing in that moment. The thing about emotions is that you feel good one day. Next second, you don't feel good. It's just too erratic. It's too erratic. I feel great. I don't feel great. I feel great. I don't feel great. You don't want to let your emotions be your representative. Like people who just fly by the seat of their pants. You don't want to do that. You got to create a system. Creating a system is key. Precious, that's right. The system is key. And Jenna, no, coming back after 24 hours is horrid. That sucks. Like you wanna click it and have it delivered to your house in a 24-hour time span. But if you put things in a cart and you leave it there for a couple of days, what you'll find is that a lot of things that you thought you wanted, you don't want those things. You didn't want that thing. You thought you wanted it. but you actually didn't want it. You got to protect yourself from yourself. You have to protect yourself from yourself. Working on responding, not reacting. Yeah. Yeah. And then Spectre Cat says, I would never remember to go back. Well, if you don't remember to go back to your Amazon cart to buy what you thought about buying, then I guess you didn't need it that much. And like, I mean, that's a real thing. Like, we will forget to buy the thing. If it's something that you need, go ahead and buy it. Like you need some pens or a pencil. You need a new notebook. You need a new book bag. Go ahead and get it because you're gonna forget it. But if you're scrolling on Amazon and you see a couple of sales, things that you weren't looking to buy, things that you had no intention on even searching, but it was placed on your phone, like things you may want. All right, that stuff, we didn't need that stuff. Leave that in the cart. If you forget to come back to it, good. You saved yourself $70. Good. Shauna says, I froze my partner's credit card. ADHD buys were stopped. He forgets to save card. I mean, I have the credit cards, but like I don't even like to use them because like I'll forget. Oh yeah, I do have to pay that off. Like when I had to think differently about credit cards because you first get them like when I was in my early 20s. Oh wow, like I'll just pay them back later. Paying back the credit cards feels so awful, but spending the money feels so good. It feels so good. And that's how they get you. Because they know, okay, all right, credit card, boom, $5,000 limit. You don't see it as, oh, I have $5,000 in the bank, I can go spend it. You see it as, oh, I got $5,000 that just came out of nowhere, I can spend it. But having $5K on a card versus having to pay that back, man, having to pay it back is the worst. It's the absolute worst. Ring. That ring notification is so annoying. Every day is like Christmas when you get packages and forget what you ordered. No, and there's a dopamine rush that comes from opening up a package. Like I love coming home and seeing like 4 Amazon packages that are there for me with my name. I'm like, okay, I get to open it up and unbox it. I mean, it's a dopamine thing, it's a sensory thing, it's an anticipation thing. It feels so good. But like I would like my $70 back too, depending on whatever it would, cue someone delivering you a package. I don't think somebody's delivering a package at this time. Emotional dysregulation is definitely a part of ADHD. Sensei on TikTok asked that. What's some good self-talk for when people try to tell me I'm just quirky when I say I'm neurodivergent? Lean into something that you're already good at doing. If you're already good at doing something, do that. Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing. Because you'll get confidence from the repeated actions. Someone's here. No, I have 2 places. So my other spot, I think somebody is there. But ain't nobody. Well, somebody could be there. I don't know. Maybe I am getting a gift. Maybe. Order sub. Excited to open the assist in my closet for months. Right. Sometimes you don't even use the stuff that you order. You think you're gonna use it, but you're like, Lexiana, that's how they get you. It's on sale. You're like, oh, I only spent $29. No, you could have saved $30. You could have saved $30. Alexis feels what I'm saying. Amazon. And guys, you have to understand that all of these things are meant to keep you on the platform. I mean, kind of like how it is with social media. Have you ever noticed that, like, at one point when you're on Instagram, you could scroll and get to the end of your feed, and it would tell you you've reached the end of your feed, and you're like, okay, I've been scrolling for 2 hours. It's done. I've seen everything. I've seen all my friends' updates. Have you ever tried to do that recently? You see that you can never run out of content. There's no, like, you could be on Instagram and TikTok for hours. You could be on TikTok for 5 hours scrolling. You really could. From 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. And if you're neurodivergent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's so easy. It is so easy to do that. So everything is a fight for your attention. Everything is a fight for your, like, it's one big game of trying to focus. That's what it is. Elon Adams, tighten up. Tighten up. It's one big game of trying to focus. Let's watch your routine video and resonate with me. I don't do the same thing every day, but I gym the same exact way. Right. That's what I'm talking about, Julie. Like, you go to the gym, it's leg day, so you start on the treadmill, then you go to the Stairmaster, then you do the leg, like, yeah. Yep. Let me see. It's about to resist. Right. Keeping your focus like this, very difficult. And somebody says, you just reminded me that I have to go to bed right now. Look, if it's your bedtime right now, hey, I don't want to stop you. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. It's 8 o'clock for us on the West Coast, but it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. Right, Julie. So if you're, like, let's say it's leg day for Julie at the gym, and she has a certain order to which she does things. Like, she has to go from the treadmill to the Stairmaster to the leg press to the Bulgarian split squat. So she has to go in that order. If somebody is on the last treadmill, if all the treadmills are taking up, then it's going to be very difficult for you to start your workout, because you're like, I got to start on the treadmill before I go. You know, it causes you some distress. And maybe you do go out of order, but it doesn't make you happy. It will throw your mood off a little bit to have to switch up something, because it's the consistency and the predictability that helps you regulate your mood. It's the consistency. I'll be doing legs tomorrow at 5-6 a.m. Okay. I did legs. Must be Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. Thursday is leg days for me, and leg days are very difficult to keep. I like to skip those days, but I can't do it. Can't do it. Mac, you're making everybody look bad now. You're making everybody look bad with your early morning workouts. The muscles don't muscle the same if you go out of order. I could be that way for you. Your RDHE content has been a lifesaver. Thank you for doing what you do. Birch, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I had every intention to eat after my workout. I hope it's not too late to eat, Andrew. Hope it's not too late to eat. I might walk 10 miles. That's exercise. This is exercise. Keeping focus is great until hyperfocus sets in and suddenly you've been away for 2 days. Yeah. And that's why, I mean, sometimes you can't opt out of the hyperfocus. It comes, it takes over, and, like, I'm being realistic here. Sometimes it takes over, and that's all you can think about, and that's all you can do. I'll say, do your best to be as productive as you can be while you're hyperfixated on something. And when you're done with that thing, allow yourself to relax. Allow yourself to rest for a little bit. Give yourself the space to breathe. Like, it's okay to breathe, all right? Give yourself the space to breathe. And Leilani, I see that we're getting close to the 1 hour, 30-minute mark. I'll answer this question, then I'll talk about the comedy shows. Can you speak on how RDHD may affect sex drive? Yes, so I actually have a specific video about this on YouTube that I think is, well, actually I have a couple of videos about this on YouTube, but it's important to, first of all, this is one of the reasons why it's helpful to know if you have autism and or ADHD. Now, the ADHD part specifically, ADHD can make sex feel like it's more important than it actually is, okay? And this is obviously before the Mickey Ficky, right? Before the Mickey Ficky, it feels like it's so important. It's so urgent. It's so, and look, I'm a man. So, like, It's important. It's important, but it's not the most important thing in the world, right? But if you're fiending, right? Let's say you're fiending. You're really fiending for the Mickey Ficky. That's all you can think about. So now it's taking up your focus. It's clouded up your focus, your judgment. That's all you can think about. And then you'll have moments where you have no drive. And you don't even want to be touched. So once again, this goes to the emotional side of ADHD, where you feel emotions so intensely. Whatever you're feeling, you feel it 3 times as much as other people. If you're feeling like a horn dog, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. And sometimes I'm not saying that neurodivergent people are cheaters or that we're more likely to cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But when you have a neurospicy person who does not know how to regulate their emotions, and let's say they're in a relationship and they cannot get that from their person, then sometimes like you look to get it from other sources, because you have to have it. You have to have it. And it's not until after you, like, once you're done, then you're like, oh, this wasn't as important as I was making it out to be. My goodness, it wasn't that important. What? I'm tripping. And then, like I said, you have times where you have no drive. And also your drive could be impacted by the sensory environment. If a certain smell is in the area, it could throw you off. That could kill the drive. If there's a noise or the lights are too bright, it could kill the drive. And that's the part that people don't want to, I think, acknowledge. It's very difficult. Let's say you're in a committed relationship, you and your partner, and there's something in the area that threw off your drive, right? So maybe the lights were too bright, or maybe there was a sound, or maybe you smelled something. Maybe the dog farted. And you lost your drive. And I'm talking about you're hugged up with your person, about to take off their pants, but the dog farted or something happened and it threw off your drive. Now you're like, all right, man, like I'm done. The other person can be upset, and rightfully so, but something threw off. So something, it just ruined the vibe. Like, vibes are very, very important to us as ADHD individuals. Vibes are very. You're right. Don't blame the dog. You're right. Very right. Don't blame the dog. Don't blame the dog. You put it in. Don't blame the dog. You put it. You're right. But something could throw you off, and now it's like, all right, it's over. Like we cannot have the Mickey Ficky now, and that could mess up things with you and your partner, and they could be telling themselves, well, anytime that we're about to get intimate and one thing is off, it messes up your whole day. So that could be difficult to manage in a relationship. So I think it's important to account for the emotional side of autism and ADHD, and like sometimes, like, it could be the person too. And I've seen this a lot with people, with friends, with past patients and clients, where they'll think that they're like, they have no drive. Like, you think that you're asexual, you think that like your drive is the worst in the world. Then you switch partners. You get with somebody else, and all of a sudden you have the biggest drive in the world. So sometimes it is the other person, and I'm not trying to put it all on them, but sometimes maybe just what you feel like that person represents to you is no longer something that entices you, and it could knock your drive out all the way. It could knock your drive out. And I mean, like, this is also its own conversation. There's the neurospicy, maybe that's where the spicy comes from, but the neurospicy community, like, they're deep into the kink community. There's a lot, and it can destroy relationships. Yeah, it can. Mickey Ficky, it came from back when I was in college at the University of West Alabama. That school is on the border of Alabama and Mississippi. So a lot of my friends and one of my roommates was from Mississippi. So in the SIP, they would have different terminology for things. So I had a good friend of mine who was a basketball coach for kids, and his coach, when he was playing basketball, didn't want to curse. So instead of saying MF, he would say Mickey Ficky. So Mickey Ficky became something I've been saying for the past 15, 16 years. So Mickey Ficky this, Mickey Ficky that. And it's a very versatile word. You can use it as a substitute for, MF, or you can use Mickey Ficky as, I've been feeding for the Mickey Ficky. And that could be sex, it could be food, it could be anything that's pleasurable. Or you can call yourself a troublemaker. I'm a Mickey Ficky. Just a very versatile word, Mickey Ficky. I love it. And also, it just feels good to say. Like it's Mickey Ficky is also a vocal stem. Mickey Ficky. I never thought about it, but it's a vocal stem. Nah, it is. Mickey Ficky. Mickey Ficky. Yeah, extra spicy in the neurodivergent community. I think it's deep in kink because they're some of the least judgmental. Right. And that's definitely something that I think we do better than most communities, especially with things like sex. There's a lot of things that people could consider to be taboo, or there's a lot of different ways that you can have shame around something like intimacy and sex. So when you have a non-judgmental environment, then you can express things that maybe other people maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable expressing around other people. So I think that us neurospices do it better. You do it better. Everything. Everything. Yeah, we currently are live right now. We currently are live. Is it because we're bottom up? It could be. It could be. My sensory issues made me feel like I'm aromantic, but no, there's a sensory side to intimacy in general that I don't think we talk about. I think it goes deeper than sex. Just even like cuddling. Some people don't like cuddling because like they feel like they're trapped, and then some people love cuddling. Some people love cuddling because they feel grounded. The same reason why you'll use a weighted blanket could be why you like cuddling. So there's a big sensory component to sex. And I think we need to talk about it more. The B, good to see you. And congratulations. Cuddling, right? Cuddling is smothering. So some people don't like it. After this last relationship fail, I think I'm going back to celibacy. Sorry, Alexa. I mean, it's like that sometimes. It's like that sometimes. I don't like it until I do so, unless I ask, initiate. Don't touch me. Respect. Shay, I agree with this one. You gotta have your own blanket. You gotta have your own blanket. And SM Diva on TikTok says, I need someone that understands my autism and my spicy. 8 tips for not thinking about eye contact. I apparently saving people's souls. How I concentrate in the story. So, Julie, I think it could be helpful to, I mean, like, this came to me top of mind, but watch a movie or a show that you like and look at somebody that you admire or respect or look up to, and watch how they look at people, and pick up on some of those mannerisms, because that's essentially what you do if you're like masking in public or social camouflaging. You're looking at people to see how they make eye contact, so on and so forth. I think when you watch movies or TV, or you see how people do it in other environments, then you can kind of see like how two people are interacting, on a TV screen, and see what things look like. But also, I mean, I think it goes without saying, sometimes when you say the thing out loud, the weird thing or the thing that's on your mind, it can help you feel more at ease. So you can just tell the person, hey, like, I hope I'm not being weird, but like I feel like I'm looking too much at you. And they're like, oh no, it's all good. I do it too. So sometimes just speaking about the thing that's on your mind, I think would be um, helpful. You need your own bed with some I agree. Taking up all the covers. Taking up all the covers. And a lot of people have sworn off of relationships. It's not difficult for me to understand why. It's I get it. I definitely get it. I definitely get it. I definitely get it. Lucky to match my touchy feely husband. Both our exes were not into. And Jennifer, I'm happy that you mentioned this. A lot of us are undertouched, just lacking hugs. Like not even on a sexual tip, this more so on a, you know, this intimacy. Like a lot of us could use more daps, more hugs, more like like as kids when like you play around, like you be bumping into each other. All that is touch. It's like now, like I'll see like videos of people trying to get boys, trying to prevent boys from like fighting or like being rough with each other. Not yeah, don't be doing swanton bombs from a super high bunk bed to hurt yourself. Yeah, but like boys gotta be boys and play around and wrestle and like we need that. We need touch. We need touch. We're under touched. I think yeah, I think we're under touched as a um community. We're under touched. Emotionally manipulative patterns. Ah. And kind of like with Jennifer, I think it's finding the right person or finding a person that you're compatible with. Like the older you get, you realize that just being a good person is not good enough. Like you there's more that has to be in line for people to work, you know. And a good hug changes a lot. A good hug changes a lot. Changes a lot. Okay, let me see. Okay, all right, I gotta get back to my assistant. Okay. All right. And Amy, this is something that I think for us as guys, we have to learn. I'm not sure if this is neurodivergent or not, but we have to learn this as guys that sometimes it's okay to like touch and be intimate without it leading to sex. And like I've definitely fallen into this trap before where it's like if like me and my lady, or whoever I'm with at the time, there's touch involved and it doesn't lead to that, I'm like, what you mean? Like what what's the point of cuddling? What you mean? What you mean we're just gonna cuddle some more? What? But then I realized that that's a way of showing affection and everything doesn't have to lead to the Mickey Ficky. And I think you learn that as you get older in age. As you get older in age. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight's live stream. We went on a little bit longer, but it's all good and having fun. Let me see. So this is a travel weekend for me, but okay, I'll be back in time. Okay, cool. So we will stream next week Tuesday. Next week Tuesday at the normal time. And Farrah, men and women are different. Yeah, men and women are like I don't know why. I feel like society sometimes will try and make it seem like men and women are the same. No, we are very different. So understanding how we work allows us to coexist and love each other the way we want to be loved. But yeah, so next week Tuesday, and then am I traveling again next week? Oh, let me see. No, it's in 2 weeks from now that I'm traveling on Thursday. Okay, yeah. So next week shouldn't be altered by traveling. Yeah. So next week, Tuesday, we'll be back on the live stream. And Melissa, the show in Nashville will be here before you know it. The show in Nashville will be here before you know it. And I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it. May 31st at the Zany's Lab. Come out. It's going to be me or my friends and I. Let's see, my friends. My friends and I. My neurospicy friends and I will be at the Zany's Lab in Nashville, Tennessee. We're coming from California with a lot of love, and it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show. Mickey Ficky. Andrea, you're right. Mickey Ficky. It's going to be a great show. And it's going to be the second show of the tour. The tour kicks off in Houston, Texas at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club on April the 26th. That's going to be an awesome show. The tickets for Houston are selling really fast and really well, and I really do appreciate that. Likewise in Nashville, the tickets are selling super fast, and I'm so grateful for the fact that we're selling tickets. I really appreciate that. We will add more cities to the tour. Alexis, I would love to come to Oklahoma City. When I come out, come through, but I would love to come to Oklahoma City. But we do have 4 cities on the tour right now. We have Houston, then Nashville, kind of like my Titans. They were in Houston, then they went to Nashville. So Houston, April 26th, Nashville, May 31st, New York City, June 11th, Chicago, Illinois, June 18th. And then we'll add more places. And there's a lot of cities that I'm looking to come to. Oklahoma City is one of those. Not San Antonio, but I'll talk to my bookers about San Antonio. We're definitely looking into cities like Seattle, DC. So DC, we're looking into DC, Oklahoma City, some shows in Cleveland, Columbus. So we're looking to come all across the country and, to interact. Like I will be interacting with my people at the show, during the show. I want to talk to y'all. I'm not going to be like just talking on stage. Like I want to talk to you. I want to see who's in the crowd. I want to see who my neurospices are. I want to see exactly who has come out to the show. It's going to be an awesome time. Yeah, there are YouTube videos of the comedy if you go to my YouTube page. And I do drop some shorts, reels, stuff of the comedy, but it gets buried with all the other content. So if something is going viral, then you'll see that more. Would love to come to Miami. Would love to come to St. Paul eventually. Raleigh. Would love to come there. Neurospicy. Coming from North Carolina, Melissa, I appreciate that. No shows in Wisconsin yet, but we would love to come out to Wisconsin. But we're definitely be in Chicago June 18th. I had a brain fart right there. Somebody on TikTok is saying, Atlanta. Yes, I gotta come back to Atlanta. Was there 2 years ago. Seattle, Rebecca, looking to come to Seattle. Then Georgia +4 is saying, still waiting on those Australia dates. Georgia, would love to come to Australia. And I'll let you know. I know you're a mom of 4, so it's gonna take some preparing to come out to a show because you got to get babysitters and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely let y'all know. We'll definitely let y'all know. California. I mean, we have monthly shows in California all the time. Like that's the home team. I'll be doing the stand up before the Clippers and Thunder game April 8th at the Intuit Dome, Court B before the game. That's April the 8th. Then April the 10th, we'll have the monthly comedy show in LA at the at Fourth Wall. So we do monthly comedy shows in Hollywood at the Fourth Wall Comedy Club. So that should be April the 10th. It's not a headline show where I'm on stage for an hour, but we do the shows in California monthly. I forgot. Cheers is the water password. Look at me being there and spicy and forgetting to drink the Yeah, if you click the link in the bio, then you can get the tickets for the Clippers game. The stand up before the Clippers game. That's the link in the bio. And then the Fourth Wall show in April. That ticket link will come out closer to the showtime. So, yep. All right, guys, that is it for tonight's live stream. I'll see y'all next week, Tuesday, 6 o'clock California time, which is 9 o'clock Atlanta time, which is 8 o'clock Nashville time, which is 7 o'clock Arizona time, which is 6 o'clock Seattle time, which is 5 o'clock Alaska time, which is 4 o'clock Hawaii time, which is 2 a.m. London time for my UK boys and girls. So this has been a great live stream. I appreciate y'all, and try your best to get some sleep, and I'll do my best to also get some sleep as well.